Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here, and once again it's time for a dynamic effort upper day, but a quick reminder. For those of you who watch these videos, please remember to click like down below. It would be greatly appreciated. And let's get over to the training. Very productive day today. Very happy with everything. I went ahead and went with the 5x5. Again, just like I did on the squats, I did that for the bench. Now, because I'm not doing 9 sets, I couldn't do an even split of my grips. So I did 2 sets of pinkies on the rings, 2 sets of medium grip, 1 set of medium grip, and then 2 sets of closed grip. But again, pretty happy with these speeds. I'm obviously using a lot of chain. I believe, without looking at my notes again, I think that's 74 pounds of chains. I probably need a little more chain weight, honestly, just based on percentages and stuff. But again, bar speed was really good. As I told you guys earlier, I'm doing all my speed bench paused. All right, I'm doing my speed bench paused. I'm not doing touch and go anymore, and this is something I've learned to mess with as a coach. Right? And again, people always ask these things, why do you change your stance on this? I'm upset. I'm like, because I coach 26 lifters full time. Most of them are on conjugate. Keep that in mind. I experiment a lot with my clients. I find things that I find work better. And you know what I find? About half of my clients do better on their benching when we pause on the speed work. Now, some of them are just beasts on the bench and that touch and go stuff like you guys watched Mikey do, or Doug does the same. You guys saw Doug, we put 60 pounds on Doug's bench in a year. We do all touch and go for them, but I have a lot of clients who do better paused. I suspect I'm going to fall in that category based upon the trends I have observed in my own lifters. Okay, so there's not a right or wrong on this. It's a question of finding what's going to work for the individual lifter. So for me, I feel like I can explode better from that pause, and it carries over better to my pause benching, because it also gives me the option to remove any sort of real rep work on the bench. Like if I want to go over to all McDonald bar and dumbbells or whatever, it gives me options. But very happy with the way that felt, and it looks today. Speed was good. So today I decided, instead of the chest supported stuff, because I'm doing a lot of restoration work for low back, my low back feels like it's recovering really well. I'm keeping my volume in check. I'm not going super crazy on volumes on anything. Everything is in that good range. Especially considering I'm not bulking, I'm not a calorie surplus. I'm in a very, very, very small deficit right now, and I mean a microscopic deficit. We're talking about ounces of fat loss a week, not pounds. So, but as everyone can tell, I am still getting leaner. You can see my face, you can see my legs, everything else. I decided to do these. Now, grip is going to become an issue. I'm going to have to keep hammering grip, but I've realized, this is good grip training on top of it. This is adding to my grip training, because my grip is getting extremely fatigued when I'm having to do bent over rows without straps. And that's okay. I don't mind the extra grip training. But it feels different, and here's the idea of this. I do need to work all the upper back. Upper back needs to be a high priority for me. Rowing is kind of the way to go with certain dumbbell movements. That being said, I want to keep practicing maintaining that tension in the low back for my conventional deadlift. I feel like doing bent over rows and trying to maintain back tension, cheating a little bit but being relatively strict, combined with those RDLs, is really going to do a lot to help with my conventional deadlift over time. Right? I want it to keep going up. People can look at it and say, well, Jason, your national records are lower than some of your gym lifts. That's true. But I need to do it at a lighter body weight. Okay? And I don't want to walk in and break a record by 5 pounds. Come on. I need to be getting the best that I can possibly be, the best version of myself. So, I need to do these things. And I feel like my low back can handle it really well now that I'm limiting volume on the lower days to some extent, and I'm doing reverse hypers for restoration every day. Dumbbells. Again, as I suspected, dumbbells go better on speed day than max day because I do another heavy press beforehand. Right? Because I do a max and then I'm doing heavy rep work on benching before I did dumbbells. Much better with this weight today. Much better. Since the 104 pounders, I got 10, 10, and then I got 9. I was hoping to get that 10th on this last set, but I couldn't get in position. Like I wasn't even on the bench. I was fatigued already. I could not get that 10th. But I do not want it to sound like I'm copping out and saying, well, had I been more even on the bench, maybe if I got my back lined up right and was in a better position, that I would have got it, because that's a cop out. If I had been stronger, I would have got that 10th rep. Let's use that. If I had just been a little bit stronger, that's the best excuse always, because it's acknowledging the reality. And we need to keep getting stronger at it. I have gotten stronger at them. We've put a good amount of weight so far on those, and we need to keep doing so. Right, we're up to 104 pounds for 10s. I want to get that to 125. I think that's a good number to aim for. I incidentally just use the same weight for these standing rows. This makes my setup a lot easier between these exercises, by the way. I don't got to manipulate as many benches. But I got like 10, 10, 11 with these. So I'm a little stronger with doing these, and I'm trying to maintain a similar form to the barbell bent over rows, but just with dumbbells. But what do we get? Different range of motion, different bar path, right? The good combination, 3 sets of each. We're working the entire back with a really good focus on that upper back, because the upper back is an area I need to continue to work on. Another reason I do 2 types of lateral raises, right, with dumbbells. Again, getting those weak links. But again, I feel like this combination is really good. Really good. Doing the bent over rows, the dumbbell presses, and then the dumbbell bent over rows after speed bench. This all felt really good. I feel like it very, very effectively addresses all my weak links for multiple exercises, right? For things that will carry over not just to the bench, because I need the bench. My bench needs the most work out of everything. We know that. I suck at the bench. And acknowledge that. I've got a video coming out on that later of that I made. It's not going to be up for a couple of weeks, I'm sure. Explaining why a focus on the standing press and pretending the bench doesn't matter is a cope. And I'm guilty of it. And I need to acknowledge that. Okay? If I'm coping for something, I need to be honest with myself about it. It doesn't matter whether I'm honest to you guys about it. I mean, it matters to some extent. But that's not what makes us better. Acknowledging to the world or an audience is not what makes us better. Acknowledging it to ourselves. And if you focus on the overhead press because it seems easier to you and because it's less contested with lower standards, and you suck at the bench relative to a lot of other guys, that's just coping for your weak bench. Okay? I'm guilty of that. What I need to do is just man up and own it and get better at my bench. Quit pussyfooting around about it. It's just what we're working on. Just own it. Say, you know what? I had that opinion because I suck at the bench. Benching low and mid 300s. My God. Need to be benching 405, and we're going to get it. It's going to happen. Laterals, though, I think I got like 1 extra rep with that weight. I got 11. I'm not ready to increase that weight yet. But all the other lifts, I went ahead and went up because I was using 35s for those. I went up to 37.5 for the last 3 lifts because I felt like I'm hitting 12s. It's time to go up. I want to be closer to 10. The extensions, I got 10, 10, 10. So we're good there. Right, we're good there. But I'm also doing restoration work for triceps. So people might say, well, Jason, now you're only doing outside of your pressing and pulling. It's only 3 sets for biceps and triceps per workout. Now keep in mind, you start factoring that in for total effective reps, effective sets. We technically are getting 6, roughly 6 for each, which is enough. We're in that range because those 2 types of rows count as half sets for biceps. Not full sets by any means. Chin-ups would be a full set. But these need to be very effective movements. But I am also doing band press downs almost every day now. Working them back in for, again, restoration, building those tendons, and a little bit of possibly additional hypertrophy. It's not going to be that much from a bunch of high rep band work, though. It really isn't. Don't let anyone fool you. Or Dr. Brad says, no, it doesn't. The evidence for true hypertrophy is still not fully there from that sort of stuff, the really, really high rep stuff. It's suggestive. It is far from something that you can take to the bank. Okay. But, again, neither here nor there. Those went well. Incline curls, these were super hard. with the heavier dumbbells. So the 37.5s, they felt hard from the first rep. I'm like, oh man, am I going to get 10? I did. I got 11 on the last set. So we got past that 10. But you guys can see my face. I'm straining on these. But the beauty of it, we're getting that stretch reflex. So again, what are we doing? Because I'm doing very few small movements here, I need them to count. I need them to be close to failure or to failure, which some of these are. We need very, very effective movements. Because, you know, the rows work biceps a little bit. They work them a little bit. But I need the best bang for my buck. All right, I need the best bang for my buck here. This is one of those exercises. I would say straight bar curls are up there too. But if I have to pick only one, I'm going with the incline curl because of that stretch reflex. Although they are both very, very good. But I feel like that stretch reflex, if we're going to pick only one for now, wins out. Keeping in mind, though, we are getting other angles of the bicep between the two types of rowing. They're just not as good as, say, a weighted chin or a curl or anything. It's an inferior movement. But we know that it causes stimulation. We know that it causes growth. Plenty of studies show that. But I do need some curls in here. So I'm going to make the curls that I do count to put us into that optimal volume for hypertrophy. But they need to be hard sets. And these were hard. These were hard. And again, a movement with a good stretch reflex and a long range of motion. Then I finished up with my rear delt flies. And yeah, I'm cheating a little bit. I don't care. I feel my rhomboids and my rear delts contracting. That's what matters. And this is finishing up those rear delts. My rear delts are possibly getting more volume than we actually need with all of this. All right, the volume is very high for my rear delts and even my traps and stuff, but we need that whole upper back. And by doing these two different dumbbell movements after all the rowing, I'm ensuring that we hammer the entire upper back, the rear delts, side delts technically, not really upper back, rhomboids, all three heads of the trap, making sure it's all getting worked. And this is finishing it off. Because again, that area needs to come up. My bench needs it, my deadlift could use it, and my squat could benefit from it, just for bar placement purposes. So overall, very, very happy with today's workout. So I hope it has been informative, and I will talk to you guys next time.